Yeah, so I think it goes without saying that Hogwarts Legacy is beautiful on PC, even with ray tracing off on Ultra. But check this out. Ray tracing on Ultra settings, it is glorious. Now, there are some standout issues here when you do this. So you can also lower it to the sadness setting, I call it, where Hogwarts ran out of money. So yeah, we're going to take a look at all of the settings on PC. There were some controversies related to the PC version before the embargo lifted for Hogwarts Legacy. So how is the PC performance stacking up with all the various settings? And guys, I'm running on a beast of a machine from Zydex PCs. These guys are amazing. They hooked me up with a brand new gaming PC. It's a miracle. This thing can do anything. So check them out in the description below. If you want to find out about my rig and what I use, man, I can't recommend them enough. So be sure to check them out. And one of the things I am so impressed about Zydex is the pure quality. Zydex communicated with me constantly about the process of my PC build and did major QA testing on my PC to ensure it works at 100% every day, all day. I love that I can do my video editing, switch to Hogwarts Legacy, make my thumbnail artwork all with ease, and simultaneously having all these windows open. And guess what? There's no slowdown. It's truly impressive. And oh, the PC is also quiet as a mouse. And Zydex also offers a wide variety of PC options on their website, by the way, so you can build your perfect PC to your budget and specs with no issues. So check out Zydex PC today by following the link in the description below, and don't forget to use my discount code. All right, so let's get into this. So you're probably wondering, hey, Robbie, what are you running? What's your PC rig? So I'm running a 13th gen Intel i9 13900K at 3 gigahertz with 65 gigabytes of RAM and the RTX 3080. Yes, I know I wish it was on the 40 series, but man, this thing can still pull off amazing visuals. So yeah, we got to talk about what's going to be your go-to lifesaver if you're going to want to push ray tracing to its limits, ultra settings, and all that glorious graphical fidelity. So yeah, you're going to want to turn on DLSS no matter what with ray tracing. I found that to be the sweet spot between fidelity and frame rate and smoothness. Of course, if you really want to play safe, I hate to say it, you can toggle off ray tracing, keep DLSS on, and keep everything on ultra. That was absolute my smoothest experience with Hogwarts Legacy, and I think they're going to fine-tune Hogwarts itself, the school, because there's sections in Hogwarts that are a little bit rough when it comes to the frame rate, especially this courtyard area that I kept going into. Now, I noticed that I had major frame rate issues when DLSS was off and ray tracing was on. Of course, I was trying to run Hogwarts in its purest form, and that definitely did not work out in terms of frame rate. So I do not recommend shutting DLSS off if you're on the 3080 or 3090 or something like that. It's not going to be doing you any favors when it comes to the smooth experience. But yeah, when it comes to the PC controversy that we heard about before the release of Hogwarts Legacy, I feel like there really isn't much of a controversy here. When we saw that really jittery footage of low frames and things like that, that was them most likely trying to push 4K with DLSS off, in my opinion, because I tried to imitate what was going on with that type of footage that was out before the game released, that was trying to like actually worry PC gamers. Let me tell you what, I don't feel like there's too much to worry about when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy and the side of PC gamers. Of course, I do think that they will further optimize the game. Every PC is different, so that's kind of a challenge from a development standpoint. I'm curious to see what graphics cards you guys are running on. Let me know if you're having any problems. It's going to differ from, of course, NVIDIA to AMD. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But you guys know me. I've played on console and PC with Hogwarts Legacy, and each one has their strange issues. So far, you can get the PC running the smoothest, in my opinion, if you really, really fine-tune your graphics to match your PC settings. That's what it's going to be about. That's how it is on PC. That's how it is for basically every game on PC. So I have to say, I wish you luck on that one. We just got to wait and see what the development team does with further optimization. But also, you got to remember, we're on PC. We have the power of modders who are going to help us out with further optimizing how this game is going to run. So I just expect it to get better and better and better as time goes on. I can't wait to see how it's running in 6 months, but this, in my opinion, is a great start. Now, one thing I did notice from console to PC is the movie files themselves. And what I'm talking about here is, of course, you have your real-time gameplay and real-time cutscenes with other characters where you're interacting them with dialogue. But then you have your pre-rendered cinematic scenes. And I noticed that when I was playing on Xbox Series X and on console, that those were somewhat lower quality. They seemed to be a little bit pixelated, and I was kind of bummed about that. Now, on the PC side of things, those are better optimized. But on the PC side of things, I'm very happy to say that those are really, really crisp. They aren't really janky when it comes to loading and streaming from, the actual gameplay into those type of cinematics. I had some issues on Xbox Series X where there were some stutters in between going from gameplay to pre-rendered stuff. Not the case really on PC, especially near the beginning of the game. Now, there are some areas within Hogwarts itself, the school, of course, and the game world that specifically need optimizing. And I think that's where Avalanche is going to go in and do their magic and further optimize this game, because this is going to be a little bit of a work in progress. So now it's time to go over your top comments for my most recent video, which was this one right here. Change this to make combat feel 10 times better. Yes, shut off camera, relative targeting, and there's some other tips in that video that I did. Check it out on my channel. It will absolutely help your gameplay. It'll make it so much better. Just trust me on this. So check out that video if you did not get to see it. But let's see what you guys had to say about this. And if you guys tried it, a couple of you guys did, and you said it's just been amazing. But yeah, let's get into the top comments. DOS19 says, personally, I think it's understandable why they made a relatively small selection of spells. If we really think about it, or some of them, or at least the most popular ones, can be quite redundant. Like, I remember in the leaked trailer from 2018, where at some point the character used the spell Exploso to bring down a door, and that spell basically generates an explosion, just like Bombarda or Confrigo, with the only difference that it's colored blue. I just prefer the fact they went with quality over quantity, added fewer, more varied spells that actually help the player and serve a purpose in the game. That's a great way of viewing it. If you get too many spells, perhaps some of them would never be used anyway. That's what happens in a lot of games. I guess you would compare it to like Call of Duty having too many weapons. You're not going to use all of them. There's going to be one or two that are just going to be the go-to. That's just the way it is. So maybe that was the assessment at Avalanche. They were like, you know what? Let's really balance the game. Focus on making a really good core gameplay loop. I love, again, what they did with the colored shields and, matching that with what's going on with your colored spells. I just thought that was genius. All right, so Simon goes on to say this right here. He says, damn, changed the whole game for me. Honestly, was struggling with enjoying the full game for this reason. It feels so much better now. Nice one. So yeah, seems like a lot of you guys are taking to the new setting, shutting that camera relative targeting off. It is horrible in my opinion. I think it should have been flip-flopped, where with it being off was default from the start of the game, because I think a lot of people, honestly, I think a few people might give up on this game just because of how it feels and how clunky some people might perceive it to be, not realizing that there's an actual fix, hidden there within the menu. All right, we have Digital Death, who says, I never heard of the house having more or less main quests, just that the different house quests are slightly different. I plan on playing each house at least once. That's the idea, go through this and replay it, so I'm not too worried about it anyway. Furthermore, we have Shiniki Shen, who says this, been doing this from the first battle I had. Glad to see others are using their gray matter to make the game work for them. Winking smiley face. Yeah, I think honestly, in an upcoming stream, Avalanche should tell their audience about this setting and say, hey, if you're kind of like struggling with the lock-on and you don't want to even do lock-on, this is going to be an excellent option for you. Now we have Adam, who says this right here. Camera acceleration shouldn't be turned off completely. Don't do this. in any game. It's not always a setting to be able to turn it off in every video game. So if you start doing it in this game or another, you're going to completely ruin the camera in older games or games that don't have the setting but still have aim acceleration. That's just too bad for those other games. No, I'm pretty good at adjusting anyway. So for me, I'm shutting it off. I'm sorry. It's just so much better without it on, at least in my personal opinion. Or you can have it on just a little bit, like you're saying, so you can go back to the older games and still enjoy them and still not be like freaked out. But, you know, I remember going from, here's an example, 60 frames per second, God of War Ragnarok, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to play more Red Dead Redemption 2 again. And I realized they don't have a performance mode for Red Dead Redemption 2 on PlayStation 5, and I played it, and it was so weird. It was like I was underwater. It was 30 frames per second. But eventually, I got over it. It was strange. It took me like a day, and I was just like, I'm settled back in 30 frames per second. I'm good. It's just the same way, you know, with this whole shutting off and turning on options with the controls. I just get used to it. It just takes a little bit of time. But anyway, there it is. The latest happenings around Hogwarts Legacy. I hope this video was insightful to you. If it was, smack that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.